Hey, everybody.
Hey there.
Hello.
We are Ad Age's creativity editors. I'm Anne Christine Philistine, coming to you from Los Angeles.
I'm I-Hsien Sherwood, coming to you from New York.
And I am Bananas Jardine, coming to you from London.
And welcome to the Halloween or the Masked Singer version of the Creativity Top 5 Live. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to say hi in the comments, and we will make sure to give you guys a shout out. And, share us, email us your Halloween costumes too, because we love seeing Halloween costumes. Yay! Okay, so boo. To kick things off, we have Grish. What was her name again?
I-Hsien Sherwood.
I-Hsien Sherwood.
All right, let's start off with number 5 this week. Is a spooky campaign for Burger King from Ingo Stockholm that invokes the old monster Bloody Mary, but at this time uses a clown that hasn't been around for a while. Let's take a look.
Cancel, clown, cancel, clown, cancel, clown.
Hot in there.
Yeah. So you could hear us clearly. We had to take those off.
I know. I had to save all that toilet paper. Coronavirus cases are on the rise, so stock up, friends.
Yeah, it's a good thing it's not March that you're doing that.
That's like $10,000 worth of toilet paper. Okay, so this one involves customers, right? They go in the bathroom. They're challenged to say "canceled clown" 3 times, just like you might say "Bloody Mary" in the mirror when you're in elementary school with the lights off. Except this time, the mirrors were equipped with technology to, as you saw right at the end there, send a spooky Ronald McDonald right after you, which freaked out more than a few people.
Yeah, if you go to the site and check it out, you'll see what the clown actually looks like. We won't spoil it here.
Yeah, and I think people were incentivized to do this by getting a free, I don't know, with a Whopper or something free from Burger King.
Yeah. And it's not all Burger Kings in Scandinavia. It's only a select few. So it was kind of like a surprise. Like it's another incentive to go to every Burger King you possibly can.
The thing that interested me with this was that, it's referencing, hey, years ago, Ronald McDonald just kind of disappeared and he's not really in the advertising anymore. And it's not like he's not around, right? But I was like, oh, right, I guess he's really not in the ads nearly as much as I remember. But I just think he's always there because, you know, you grew up watching him in every McDonald's ad.
Yeah. I mean, he remains like in a McDonald's icon. I guess he could come back anytime,
Right.
like the king. But now he's branded with this scary clown thing. Well,
yeah, I mean, he's been more referenced in Burger King's advertising in the last few years than in McDonald's.
That's a good point.
They've had the whole scary clown thing going on,
and sometimes a making out clown.
The one thing though is canceled clown. That's kind of an awkward phrase. Canceled clown. Doesn't have the effect of Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary. I'm not going to say it a third time because that always freaked me out when I was a kid.
I wonder if they were worried about like liability issues or legal issues if they had people say Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, Ronald McDonald. Is that a weird Halloween thing? It's something like you glitched out on me, or maybe that was just me.
Yeah, I think it's because you nearly said cancelled clown, so something weird was going on there.
Anyway, that wasn't the only Burger King Halloween idea that we saw. Alex, you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'll talk you through. So we saw a few Burger King things from around the world. They seem to be pretty busy this Halloween. But one that we saw from the US was a little bit controversial. They invited people to go to scary places where they could download a coupon for a free Whopper. But it wasn't a haunted house or a graveyard. It was an abandoned fast food restaurant. And they actually picked 5 closed restaurants in different states. And in the creative, it's sort of mocked up like a haunted house. And the idea is that you should beware of restaurants that don't flame grill like Burger King. Now, they got a bit of criticism on this one. People pointed out that it was a bit tone deaf, basically, to be making fun of shuttered restaurants at the current moment in the pandemic when things are closing down. And Burger King's chief marketer, Fernando Mercado, actually came out and defended it a bit. He said that the restaurants that they featured were all closed before the pandemic. And anyway, fast food is not doing so badly as an industry. But I think it's fair to say that it fell a little bit flat.
Yeah, I mean, maybe more than flat. I feel like it's so triggering to see that sort of image right now. And the average everyday consumer isn't going to think, oh, fast food restaurants are doing okay. Or, you know, it's like that very bracing image of a business closed. So that's kind of not the thing you want to see at this time.
Yeah, and it's good that he clarified, okay, these were all shuttered before, you know, fast food's doing fine. But if you're just someone viewing those images, you have no idea that they were shuttered before the pandemic. You also have no idea that I guess they were all fast food restaurants. Like those very easily could have been like a mom and pop shop in like rural America that just shut down because, you know, no one can go visit them anymore, which, you know, sucks.
Yeah. And in the world of social media, it's like instant reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to process all that background information. So yeah, maybe
maybe a rare miss for Burger King.
Yeah.
And there was another Burger King spot that we had this week. It's not necessarily a Halloween, but it was a spec ad. Let's take a look at that one.
Господин. Прости меня, мой господин, но у тебя много врагов.
Это не моя вина.
Разводите него вниз!
Это не моя вина.
I thought that was a really cute idea to show how much a Whopper is worth to somebody, the deliciousness of the Whopper. But it's interesting because I asked Fernando about this one and what he thought. And he actually said he didn't find it that risky, that he tends to like things that are more raw and real, which is what we do see in Burger King ads. They feel like of this moment, that they were kind of quickly reacting to culture, and this is a little more well produced. But it also did remind me of there was a spot a few years ago where it was a man on death row, about to have his final meal, and it turns out that he requested a Whopper, but it was actually not him who requested the Whopper. It was the guard who was protecting him, or who was watching over him. And in exchange, the guard got that Whopper, and the guy got to, escape from prison. So that whole death theme, I think the death theme period is pretty risky. But I
think it was an idea that maybe could have worked for a load of different food brands or anything kind of delicious, I guess.
I thought it was interesting because we're living in this world where, at least according to news reports, Donald Trump really likes McDonald's because he's afraid of getting poisoned. So I don't know if there's like a competitor's option there or something. So
yeah, that actually was the spot came from. It was directed by a director named Daniel Contour, and he found the script on a site called SpecBank. It's where creatives could upload their ideas that didn't end up getting produced. It was founded by a creative at Saatchi, and that script was created by a couple of Saatchi creatives. And I think it was originally written for Kashi, the brand Kashi, but then Daniel thought that since it was so risky, it would probably work better with a brand like Burger King. So anyway, kudos. I thought that was nicely done. And so next up, speaking of food, we saw a really cool partnership this week. So Postmates is, one of the food delivery services out there, and it partnered with TikTok. If you're a fan of TikTok, you'll see that there are all these food trends that pop up on the platform, and there's something called cloud bread, which is this fluffy, slightly sweet type of bread in different colors. There's whipped coffee, bento boxes, which are a staple of Japanese culture but have taken hold here in the US. Those are popular as well. And pancake cereal, which I'm not sure. I think, is it pancakes that are tiny pancakes that you eat with milk? I'm not sure. You might have to order it. But anyway, TikTok partnered with Postmates. Postmates tapped some of its local providers, local restaurants in LA, to create some of these creations. So instead of just watching these treats on TikTok, you could actually taste them. And the delivery on these items is free. So if you want to try it out, check out Postmates and search for TikTok treats, and you can find them. And I just thought that's a super smart brand partnership, and it's tapping into popular culture. And Postmates has done this in the past, like during the pandemic, for example. It worked with Dodger Stadium to bring some of the stadium food to people's homes as they're watching baseball games. So I like how the platform is going into people's lives and getting creative with its delivery and its partners. It's the broad span of partners, not just restaurants, but a stadium, for example, and a social media platform. So
I think it's a really smart move, and I can even see it. I don't know, developing into something more. Maybe they could do a competition where people could create stuff and get it turned into an item that people could order.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
It's a nice replacement for people who miss standing in long lines for hours to be the first, like a cronut or something like that. Now you can just right to your door. Could we get a partnership with Postmates and like Pinterest fails, just like smashed cakes and hideous decorated cookies? I would definitely pay to get those delivered.
Or Nailed It. Do you guys watch Nailed It? Like really bad, ugly foods.
There used to be a website called Cake Rex. That was great.
Yeah. All right, we've got some shout outs. If you're out there and you would like to get a little shout out, just send us a message on social. We got Maris from Indonesia, Sammy and Arnold from Nairobi, Athena from New York, Sean from Glasgow, and Jayla from Paris. Hey, everyone.
Hey.
Cool. I saw we had somebody from Kazakhstan there as well. So that's cool.
Oh, cool. Oh, Athena from New York. Rogov from, I don't know, but hi.
Oh, he flashed up on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Shall I go on now to number 3?
Sure.
At number 3 this week, we have Nike again. Slightly different kind of ad this time, although in some ways it's sort of a typical uplifting, inspiring Nike ad. But this one comes from the Middle East. Well, it was actually made by Wyden and Kennedy Amsterdam, but it is about Middle Eastern female athletes. Going back a couple of years, Nike decided to make its athletic wear more inclusive and create the pro hijab. And then last year, I think it launched the Victory Swim line of modest swimwear. And this film features some prominent sportswomen in the Middle East. There's rower Maha El Ameri, triathlete Manal Rostom, and everyday athlete Zainab Al Akabi. And it all starts with a little girl having a swimming lesson. Should we take a look?
Yes.
يلا يا ماما راح نسويها ونسبح اليوم. راح أعد ل3. أكتمي نفسك. جاهزة؟ 1 2 3. حركي يدينك مضبوط. حركي يدينك. ارفعي جسمك وخليه مستقيم. اوكي حركي رجلينك. حركي رجلينك. حركي. خذي نفس وطلعيه بشوية. انتي مو لحالك. أنا جنبك. سويتيها انتي قدها. سويتيها. انتي قدها. يلا لا توقف الحين. كملي.
So that, as you can see, comes from the You Can't Stop Us series of ads. And I really like this one. I like the metaphor of the little girl having a swimming lesson and all that represents. And I think there's a lot that's sort of implicit in this ad rather than overtly said about what that could mean to a woman in the Middle East.
Yeah. And I love how, what started out with a product idea of expanding into or diversifying, what the idea of who an athlete is, this product idea that started out from the pro hijab and moved into swimwear, and has grown into this much bigger thing that's being celebrated more and more in the advertising. I think the last spot we saw was a sole athlete in some of the swimwear, and now it's this classic feel-good, uplifting Nike ad that spans all these sports. Like, I love how they included surfing in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a story that has just grown so beautifully, and the storytelling is great as well.
Yeah, it's beautifully directed by Sarah Dunlop of Rattling Stick, who's a great female director.
Yes.
Yeah, Nike's done a really nice job of sort of like showing that there doesn't have to be a tension between making your own choices and performance as well. I mean, fabric technology is to the point where like covering as much of your body as possible when you're in the water is probably going to make you faster.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And warmer.
Yeah, so another beautiful ad from Nike. And
All
so,
right, so let's head on to number 2 in the top 5. Here's another really sweet ad. This one comes from Etsy and 72 and Sunny, really tapping into the pandemic vibes. The holidays are coming up. This one focuses on Christmas, but we're going to get here in the US Thanksgiving pretty soon. I don't know, do people miss their families on Halloween? I'm not really sure, but let's take a look.
We'll see the kids soon.
I know.
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Hi, Grandma.
Hi, you're up so early.
Merry Christmas, Grandma.
Merry Christmas.
Mom, open the blue one.
Oh, look at that.
Look, the present's me. You're supposed to hug it when you can't see us. I miss you, Grandma. See you really soon.
I think
my
this is
God.
really smart positioning.
yes.
Like Etsy's whole thing is like it's custom and personalized and made by hand, and like those are the things that you miss around the holidays, you know. So like really tying that into like a Etsy. There's another spot about an uncommon name. I don't know what that's like. And then one that focuses on a boyfriend who's like stuck with his girlfriend's family for the holidays, which I think we're going to see a lot of as well. It's a smart insight.
Yeah. That the other one, it was about a girl named Shiori, of Japanese descent. I think her mom's either an immigrant or, it's a bilingual family, because you could hear the Japanese in the background. But so the girl, through her whole life, she encounters these, what I-Hsien, you're probably, like you said,
with a name like I-Hsien, like just,
yeah.
kids won't stop.
Yeah, so she doesn't see her name on the license plates, and when she gets her hot chocolate at Starbucks, it's Sherry, but it's Shiori and so thanks to Etsy, her mom's able to get her a gift that is solely for her. It's really cute too.
Yeah, that was a really cute ad. I do like that one.
Yeah, and yeah, it is super smart because it's this time where there's so much feel-good marketing, and it also just homes in on only what Etsy can do, which is provide these things that you can personalize, you can customize, and also just the incorporating the pandemic into the storytelling as well with the grandparent one.
I think that does really well what we've been discussing for a while now, like how our advertisers going to do Christmas in a pandemic, and I think this one did a good job of it. Yeah,
and Etsy's actually done really well throughout this period. Probably because of the masks that everyone needs to buy. So it comes on the heels of this strong season for the retailer, which is great. I can't watch those again because as my lip was quivering as we were watching that grandparent spot. And the storytelling was awesome as well. So before we move on to number 1, we should celebrate this season a little bit, right?
Yeah. If you hang on one second, I will show you my pumpkin, who I have here. My little pet.
That's horrifying.
Did you make that, Alex?
My son made it. I am not that good with a carving knife. I just left him to it and hoped that he wasn't killing himself.
Not that good with a carving knife. Okay, good alibi. It's terrible with a carving knife. I couldn't have murdered this people.
Should we look at some of the other Halloween work that we had? That there was a couple of brands did things that were all about tech, and I guess normally you wouldn't necessarily associate tech brands with advertising around Halloween, but this year, because we're all in our houses, it's all about how to make your home more spooky for Halloween rather than going out trick-or-treating. So Samsung in the UK transformed an old house in Stevenage, which is just to the north of London, and they put a lot of their smart tech into it and did a kind of light show. Should we have a look at it? So I think Home Depot has some competition there with the animatronic skeleton.
So I saw that, and when I saw it, I thought, oh my God, I can do that with my house with Samsung gear. And so I went, the part of this campaign also had tutorials where that showed you how you can kind of enhance your house for Halloween. But I was kind of disappointed because it wasn't like Samsung had all these projection mapping tech that you could buy. It's, you know, it's like light sensors or, you know, other things like, so, you know, things that trigger the electronics in your home. I wish Samsung had gone a step further and actually created some of this stuff so people could do it. But as for a show, though, it was spectacular.
Yeah. And Google Nest as well. And they actually have some products which I think you can install. And the way they were promoting these was with an ad that had monsters on a video conference. Should we have a look at that one?
All right, my monster friends, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, now listen, I know things are a little different this year for all of us, but monsters got a monst. We can scare. That's our job.
I also tutor math.
I didn't know that. That's interesting. Does it pay pretty well?
You
know what, Stuart? Nope, sorry. I gotta focus. What can we do to get a little spooky this year?
I put some spooky sounds on my doorbell.
That's me. That's totally me. Oh! That's terrifying.
Okay, yeah, that was a howl. I'm not sure that was the howl.
You're giving more were puppy.
Yeah. But keep training. You'll get
it. That was cute. It kind of reminded me of the Spectrum ads.
With the monsters,
Yeah, I kind of like those monsters a little better, but this is a cute idea. And what I like about what Google has been doing with its product advertising is that they're not just taking Nest and saying this is what you can do with Nest. They're renaming the products according to their capabilities. Like one of them was the Scream Streamer, and then another one was the Monster Summoner.
Yeah, the doorbell is the Monster Summoner, I think.
Yeah, and this follows a previous campaign with, I think it was Fred Armisen, where that renamed various Google devices for, you know, what they could do for your life at home during the pandemic. So I think that's a pretty smart angle to take on product marketing. So thanks, Google, for that one. And I-Hsien, you want to tell us about this?
Yeah, there was another came out a little while ago. It is a sequel of sorts to a 2011 viral video, or I guess it was a viral Facebook app back when those were things that people were really excited about. This time, Take This Lollipop is back. Jason Zada, who created the last one, also created this one and brought back the actor Bill Oberst Jr. Instead of talking about the kind of data that you're giving to Facebook and how potentially a creepy stalker could use it to find you, it is showcasing how deepfake technology is pretty scary as well. Let's take a little look.
GSTV presents Better Together with Maria Menounos, Halloween tip of the day. I am extra excited about Halloween this year. There is nothing creepier than a full moon on Halloween.
I really want to scare you this Halloween. I know so much about you now. Nice car, by the way.
Have a safe and happy Halloween, everyone.
So that's a promo video with Maria Menounos. But if you go to takethislollipop.com, you can take the experience, basically, which is kind of like being in a chat room with like pre-recorded messages. You can type in the chat. It's like somewhat interactive. And then just using your webcam, it's able to pretty quickly capture enough of like your surroundings and your features to then deepfake you and also deepfake some spooky stuff. We won't spoil it too much.
Yeah, check it out. It's pretty creepy. I tried it. Yeah, I wouldn't show it to my kids, or maybe I will. So before we move on, we have some more shout outs. We have I-Hsien from Egypt, Rachel from New Zealand, Ian from Scotland, Jason from Wisconsin, Luis from Mexico, and Amir from India. Hey guys, thanks for joining us.
Hey.
And also, if you want to check out all the winners in full, we're going to put a QR code up on the screen. Just snap that and it will take you directly to the story. And so we arrive at number 1. So, the pandemic has been a tough time for everybody, small businesses and outdoor advertising, for example. Why should people advertise outdoors if no one's going out? So, but JCDecaux, it's an outdoor media company, was probably facing some of these struggles, no one to advertise in its spaces. But Fred and Fareed LA came up with this idea to take that unused advertising space and fill it with messages that lift the spirits of the local residents. And it's a campaign that reached all the major cities across the US, Los Angeles, New York, Boston, and Chicago. And what was really cool about it is that the agency, tapped into the local culture and created the artwork for each of the series to speak specifically to Los Angeles or Boston. In LA, for example, they featured a vibrant palette with these bold messages. We smile. We're all neighbors. Give LA a hug. And then in Boston, for example, the palette was green and white, and it played to the local culture, the love of sports, and it had the posters had accents of. Oh wait, am I talking about Boston? Yeah. Of like a coach's. There were the orange accents that kind of mimicked a coach's playbook, and there was also attitude in the copy reflecting, the attitude of Bostoners. So there was just a really lovely campaign, and I haven't seen it out in the world yet, but I'm excited to go find these posters. And also on the site, you can actually download the images and print them out for yourselves. So you can post them in your home, in your cars. And it's just a really positive, supportive message that I really loved.
As a former Big Dig resident, I found the Boston ones a little bit towny, but it was fine. The New York ones are supposed to emulate the colors of skyscrapers and also the zig and zag of fire escapes. And how well do you think the the Los Angeles ones captured LA?
They felt really LA to me. I think there were some messages too that spoke to the local teams. Like there's one that said, "We are Magic," and I immediately thought Magic Johnson, a Lakers legend. So that they just all spoke to me.
I think I'm in New York, but I'm in New York, and I think I like the LA ones better.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought the New York ones maybe I've lived in New York for forever too, so they didn't have the impact for me as a New Yorker that the LA ones had for me as a now Angelino, returned Angelino.
I feel like this is something they could probably do all over the world. I mean, JC goes all over the world, so they could do one for London, definitely.
Yeah, it's another campaign I would love to see expand.
And there's all these unused billboards, so you might as well use them.
Yeah. So great job, JC Deco and Fred and Fareed. And thank you all for joining us. And we hope you all have a happy, safe Halloween, if you can, whatever you're doing. And get ready for a big week next week, at least in the United States. We may have something special coming up for that. In the meantime, if you want to check out more of the best in brand creativity, go to adage.com/creativity. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.